we're on to our grade 10 class. As part of our introductory formalities, we will be taking a look at all the questions we had encountered in the just concluded JS3 exam for Rivers State called BECE, and we'll also be looking at the exam for NECO, just part of its importance, an important protocol, so that you are reminded of the things you have done in your JSS. And coming to SS, it serves as a background for you to flow with the course. So we've done question 1 to 30 of our BECE examination for Rivers State, and we'll continue today from question 31. I'll trust you have your question paper close with you so that we'll be fast with it. Now, the first question there, question 31, I'm going to make an observation. I think the examiner actually meant reciprocal of what? 2 raised to the power of minus 2. Now, when we say the reciprocal of this, what we technically mean is this. This is how we write reciprocal in mathematics. So we say reciprocal of that. That's what we technically mean. All right, so this will now be equal to what? 1 over, or from your knowledge of indices, this will be what? 2 raised to the power of minus 2 times minus 1. And that will be equal to what? 2 raised to the power of 2. The reciprocal. Now, watch this again. If this does not help your understanding, let me give you another idea. This means the reciprocal of this. This means the reciprocal of this. So the reciprocal of the reciprocal would likely give you this. So that's the understanding. When we come into some of the introductory topics you think, one of them is indices and logarithm. Indices and logarithm. When we come to indices, you understand this concept much better. So that's for question 31. And the answer will be what? C. In question 32, that's the correct question. I think they forgot to put this because there's no option there that can suffice if this is not the thing given to you to do. Now in question 32, it said if 5 men dig a drain in 14 days, how long would 7 men take? Now understand that in this question, it's testing your knowledge of inverse proportion. By inverse, I mean, or indirect, I mean, if a job is done by 4 persons and you introduce a 7th person, what you're going to discover is that the time to finish that job will be faster. So the more the persons, the quicker the job will be done. So you have 5 men to 14 days and 7 men to how many days? Now, the answer will be the number of days will reduce because the number of men have increased. So the trick here is to multiply this with this and then divide by this. And that will be 70. Okay, don't need to do that. 7 go here 1, 7 go here 2, and that will be what? 10 days. So the answer will be 10 days, and that option will be what? D. That option will be what? D. Okay. Now in question 33, we have changed 7 3 over 4, 7 3 over 4 to improper fraction. 7 3 over 4 to improper fraction. How do you change the improper fraction? This times this plus this. So that will be 28 plus 3 over what? 4. And that will be 31 over 4. And that option will be what? D. In question 34, we say you should write 108 as product of what? Prime factors. How do you do that? Now, People use different methods, but I think because of the speed of the exam, your tree approach will be okay here. I see that. So what you do is to count the number of trees. 1, 2, 3. But these are prime numbers. And the number of twos. So 108 will be equal to 2 multiplied twice times 3 multiplied 3 times. And that will be the answers. That answer will be what? D. So you see that the approach you apply is a function of what the problem wants you to do. There's no say this is the method you must use in maths. That reality does not exist. The method you use is always a function of what the problem is. The problem will determine what to use. You discover that you would have used that one you ruled down, but the tree approach for me is the fastest here because you can easily just see them and then count the respective factors out. All right, so question 35. In question 35, it says, what is the range of the set of numbers? And the set of numbers given to you are 10, 10, 11, 11, 5, 6, 13, 7, and 6. What is range? We know that range is equal to highest minus lowest. That's what range is. Range is highest minus what? Lowest. So what's the highest number here? 13. What's the lowest number here? 5. And your answer becomes 8. So the range in this question is 8 and the option is what? E. Question 36. The lowest common denominator of, now what are the numbers given? You have 2 over 3. You have 4 over 5. You have 5 over 6, and you have 3 over 10. These are the numbers you have, or fractions you have. I am told to look for the lowest common denominator. To look for the lowest common denominator, you will consider the denominators, find the LCM of the denominators. Now, there are two ways you can go about this. LCM is obtained as a function of prime factors. So I can start by picking 3. Just 3, there is a prime factor there. I go to 5, just 5. I go to 6, 2 times 3. I go to 10, 2 times 5. So what's the prime factor of this? Very simple. I mean the LCM of this. I pick 2, I pick 3. 3 has occurred many times, but you just pick one of it. And I pick what? 5. So what's the LCM here? To be what? 30. So the LCM of these numbers will be what? 30. So and that option is what? D. That option is D. Now in question 37, we are told to add the following. Now, those days in school, we usually have something like this, Naira and Kobo. This is 7 Naira, 50 Kobo. This is 2 Naira, 25 Kobo. This is 50 Kobo. We are told to add them and give our result in Naira. So look at this. This will be 5. This will be 12. Put down to carry 1. That one is added to this. Now, I always advise my students, when you have a carry, treat the carry before you treat another thing. So that carry I have to be added to 7 becomes 8 plus 2, 10. The essence is that you don't forget. So the answer will be what? 10 Naira, 25 Kobo. So the answer, according to my option, is what? B. On the back question 38. The 38, we are told to find the square root of what? X into y plus z. And we are told what the values are. X is what? 3. Y is what? 5. Z is what? -2. So this will give me the square root of what? 3 times what? 3. Now, square root means pick 1. That's another interpretation of square root. Square root means what? Pick 1. So the answer becomes what? 3. And that answer is what? B. So in question 39, we are told that what is the percentage of the letters in the word protractor? Protractor. Now, what percentage of the letters in the word protractor are vowels? Vowels. So, which of them are vowels? We know that it is 1, this one is, and this one is. So, how many letters? 3. So, percentage vowels or vowels will be equal to 3 over how many letters do I have in all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Times what? 100 over 1. That will be 30%. So 30% will mean C as the correct option. Question 40. Question 40. We are told to approximate 1, 2, approximate 1, 2, 2, 5, 6 to what? 3 significant figures. We are told to approximate it to 3 significant figures. So how do you do that? Quite simple also. Digit of interest is this one. So 3 significant figures, 1, 2, 3. So this becomes the digit of interest, becomes the digit of approximation. So then you use this digit of approximation to approximate this one. So this is 5. It becomes what? Because it's 5 and above, we can add it to this. So this becomes 1, 2, 3. And the rest turns to 0 because it is a whole number. If it were decimal, we would forgo them. Right, so that answer becomes B. In question 41, we are told that A is equal to 4, B is equal to 3, and C is equal to -2. We are told to simplify. We are told to simplify that. So A over B plus C over what? A. What does this give you? This will give you 4 over 3 minus, because of this minus sign, 2 over 4. What is 2 over 4? 2 over 4 is what? 1 over 2. I seen that. So we take LCM to be 6. 3 and 2 will be 6. 6 divided by 3 will give me 2 times 4, 8 minus 6 divided by 2 will give me 3 times 1, 3. That will give me 5 over 6. So the answer there is 5 over 6, and that option is what? D. Question 42. In question 42, we are told to calculate the area of a trapezium. Now the trapezium is given to us. They forgot to put this as 90 degrees. That ought to be 90 degrees. That's the only way this question will be correct. So what is the area? Area of trapezium will be equal to half 13 plus 7 times what? 6. Half parallel sides times the height. This will give me what? 20 times 3, which invariably will give me 60 centimeters squared. So that will be the area. And that option is what? C. Now in question 43, we are told that what type of angles lie between 0 and 90 degrees? So angle type between 0 and what? 90 degrees. What type of angle type lies between 0 and 90 degrees? What type? There's just one type that lies between that, and that is what? Acute. So acute angles are those angles that lie between what? 0 and what? 90 degrees. So the answer is what? D. The answer is D. So you see that these exam questions are pretty straightforward. With the way we prepared for NECO, I don't see you having any issues with your state exams at all, because the questions are pretty straightforward. Very straightforward questions they've set for you. All right. So we go to question 44. And in question 44, we are told that x is equal to -2. So we are required to evaluate 8 minus 3x squared. So what does that give you? We substitute x and -2 where we have x. So that will be 8 minus 3 into -2 all squared. Remember that -2 all squared means -2 times -2. Means -2 times -2. So that will give me 8 minus 3 times 4, which will be 8 minus what? 12. And what is 8 minus 12? We know that the smaller number is bigger. So what we are going to have will be what? -4. And that -4 will mean A is the correct option. All right, so let's go to question 45. In question 45, we are told that subtract 18 from the product of 20 and 3. It's a very interesting topic in grade 9, and I don't know how well you handled that topic was handled with you. It's called word problem. You translate word problems to mathematical algebraic statements. It says what? Or numerical statements. It says subtract 18 from the products. Now the products means 20 times 3 minus 18. Subtract 18 from the product of these two. So remember your board maths. Board maths is a system that you must obey when you have a problem like this. You have to multiply first. And that will give you 60 minus what? 18. And that will give you 42. So the answer will be what? 42. And that is D. Question 46. It says find the LCM. LCM of 10, 16, and 18. You know, previously I would always tell students to rule and, but I discovered that not in all cases you need to do that. Now I use both methods now. I don't restrict myself to a particular method because I see the relevance of each method. This is actually 2 times 5. 16 is actually 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And I'm seeing 9. And what do you call it? 18 equal to 2 times 3 times 3. So if I'm going to find the LCM, very simple. I'll pick, I'm seeing LCM means pick all. If you compare all of this is the highest occurring 2. So I'll pick 16. I'll go to 3. This is the highest occurring 3. And that's what is that one? 9. And then I'll pick 5. So that will give me 30. That will give me 80 times 9. Or if you like, yes, 80 times 9. Notice the way I'm multiplying in my head. I'm multiplying so that my work is easy. That will be 720. So the answer is what? 720. And that is B. Option B becomes the correct answer. Let's go to question 47. You have angle on a straight line. You have 64 You have y, and you have 57. Are you seeing that? So what is going to happen here? What then is y? What then is y? What then is y? Y, we know that from our knowledge of trigonometry or formal geometry, the sum of angles on a straight line is 180. So it means that y plus 64 plus 57 will be equal to 180 degrees. What is the reason for that? Angles on a straight line. Angles on a straight line will give you that description. So it means that y plus 121, if I got that right, will be equal to 180 degrees. So y essentially will be 180 minus 121, and that will be 59 degrees. That will be 59 degrees. All right. So then let's go to 48. So that option is what? That option will be A. So let's go to question 48. In 48, you are told that the angles of a quadrilateral are 5x plus 4x plus 3x plus 6x. This will be equal to 360. The sum of the angles of a quadrilateral is what? 360 degrees. So you add this one up. This will give me 9 plus 12 plus 6, 18x equal to 360, and x will be equal to what? 360 divided by 18, and that is 20. So that option will be what? D. That option will be D. So in question 49, we have arranged these fractions in ascending order. When we go to ascending order, it means start from smallest to biggest. So what are the fractions given? 6 over 10, 8 over 10, 2 over 10. They said arrange in ascending order. This question is just too cheap. Now, when all the denominators are the same, the arrangement is so easy. So we'll start with 2 over 10. We'll go to 6 over 10. And we'll go to what? 8 over 10. So it becomes very easy when the denominators are the same. Right? So the answer becomes A. In question 50, give the next two terms of this sequence. Now, what's the sequence? We have 1, we have 6, we have 11, and we have 16. Now, a sequence is defined by the pattern. Look at this. You're adding 5. So the next two will now be what? 21 and 26. So that option will be what? D. What about question 51? Before we answer 51, we are told to use the information provided to answer 51 to 53. What's provided? 8, 9, 5, 6, 2, 4, 8, and 0. Now, question 51, it said the mode of the above number is, what is the mode of the above number? Now, what would the mode be? The mode is that, so the mode is the one that occurs the most. And if you check this, 8 is what is occurring the most. So the mode will be what? 8, and that is D. In question 52, you are told to look for the median. So to get the median, you have to rearrange this first. either in ascending or descending order. Whichever way you arrange them, the median will still occur. So I'll start 0, I'll have 2, I'll have 4. What else will I have? I'll have 5. I'm going to have 6. I'll have 8 twice and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, for a simple question like this, there's a way I look for median. I just keep removing at both ends, and I have 5 and 6. So I have two numbers occupying the median position. So what I do is to add them together and divide by 2. And the answer becomes 5.5. So that option is what? B. That option will be B. Question 53. In question 53, we are told to find the mean. How do you look for the mean? The mean is the sum of all of these over the available number of the information. So if you look at this, you have 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it will be 8 plus 9 plus 5 plus 6 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 0, all over what? 8. So add them together. 17 plus 5, 22. 22 plus 6, 28. 30 plus 12, that will be 32. Sorry, 30 plus 12, that will be 42. Have I got that right? So let's check again. Please help me check and ensure that what I've done is correct. So that will give me 2 go here 4, 2 go here 21. So that will give me 5.25. And that option will be A. That's for question 53. So let's look at question 54. We are told to expand this. Now, there are different ways. I don't know the method you have been taught, but there are different ways you can handle this problem. Different ways you can handle this problem. There are different ways to solve this question, or let's say 2 major ways to solve this. I will start with a very simple approach. Now, you use the content of this item in this bracket to multiply the content of this bracket. So I will have x into x minus y, then plus y will multiply x minus y. I like to use this approach. It's my favorite method because it helps you to interact with the problem. Now this will give me x squared. This will give me minus x. This will give me yx. Remember that we write in the order of the letters of the English alphabet. There's an order, and that order must be obeyed. If I say y times x, my answer will be xy. Must be xy. And then what? Y times y. Oh, sorry. Y times minus y will give me minus y squared. Now look at this. This is positive. This is negative. This is positive. It means these two, if you add them, they will be what? 0. Just like saying 1 minus 1. That will give you what? X squared minus y squared. And that answer will be what? A. So question 55. Question 55. Parallelograms, rhombus, and kite are examples of what? Are examples: parallelogram, rhombus, kites. What are the examples of? They're examples of quadrilaterals. So there are examples of quadrilaterals, and that option will be B. So there are examples of what? Quadrilaterals. What's a quadrilateral? Quadrilateral refers to shapes that have what? 4 sides. All shapes that have 4 sides are treated as what? Quadrilaterals. All shapes that have 4 sides are treated as quadrilaterals. All right, so that taken care of, we can now go ahead to look at question 56, and then we'll continue from there. So, in question 56, we have that cos is equal to what? 4/5, but ideally it ought to be cos theta. Maybe that's a typographical error because cos with reference to a particular angle is what? 4/5. So what you need to do is to draw a right angle triangle. We've done this a lot. And cosine, then you designate the angle. I've called that theta. Cosine is what? Adjacent over hypotenuse. So this is the opposite. This will be adjacent. This will be the hypotenuse. So we need to look for this part. Let me call it a H. So by Pythagoras, you're going to have that H squared plus 4 squared will be equal to what? 25 squared. Will be equal to 5 squared. Sorry about that. So H squared plus 16 will be equal to 25. And H squared will be equal to what? 25 minus 16. H squared will be equal to 9, meaning that H times H will be equal to 3 times 3. You pair, you pick 1. You pair, you pick 1. So the answer is what? H equal to 3. And that option will be what? Okay, we're not done yet too. Now, we're told to find tan. What is tan theta? Opposite over adjacent. What is the opposite now? 3. What is the adjacent? 4. So that answer becomes what? C. For me, this is the first real question of the exam. All right. So that's for question 56. What about 57? In question 57, we are told to write 2,000 and what? 67 in digits. So how do you write that? 2,000 is 2 with zeros. 67 is tens and units. So this is what the answer would be. And that answer obviously is what? D. So what about 58? Question 58. Calculate the volume of a rectangular box which measures 5 meters by 2 meters by 2.5 meters. What is volume? Volume is length times breadth times height. Here you are given 3 dimensions there. 5 times 2 times 2.5. So we know that this will be 5 times 5. 2.5 times 2 is 5. And this answer will be 25 what? Meter cube. That answer will be what? B. So what about 59? Find by factors the square root of 196. So square root of what? 196. Find by factors. The interesting thing here now is, what is the square root? Because it's an OBJ question, I always advise my students to know perfect squares of numbers from 1 to about 25. If you want to be an exceptional student, you should know from 1 to 50. Now, what is the square root of 196? It is what? 14. But they said, find by factors. What are the factors available here? It is what? 2 times what? 7. And that answer becomes what? A. So you see, after getting 14, write 14 as product of its factors. The final question we have here for this morning learning is question 6. He said, what must be added to 74 to make it what? What must be added to 74 to make it 60? Now, 74 plus a number will give me 60. Oh, I think I even made a mistake in my solution. Thank God I'm seeing that. What must be added to 74 to make it 60? So that means that X is 14. So that answer will be what? Minus or negative 14. And that option will be what? E. I think I will have to do an adjustment to my previous video. I remember that in my previous video, I put the answer as A, but reading the question now, I'm seeing obviously where I had made a mistake. These things happen. So that's the solution to the OBJ aspect of the Rivers State Ministry of Education Basic Education Certificate exam for 2020 mathematics. In our next class, we'll look at the theory, and once we're done with the theory, we'll now go ahead to look at the NECO examination.